Before we get out of here today, we got to talk about how the general managers' baseball meetings, the baseball general managers' meetings, how they had to be postponed, canceled, everyone sent home because everyone had. That's don't let me leave here today without discussing that.
Well, in baseball, you could say they had the runs.
What was that off-mic laugh from the other
I heard
room
it too.
through soundproof doors? Somebody just...
I'm making somebody laugh.
Okay, a diarrhea joke. Okay, it's great. Go sit in the penalty box for that joke. I'm glad that you made one person laugh out there. We will get to Tony's top 5 in a second. I haven't gotten to Tony's tiers yet. He was working on that for hours yesterday. I don't know if the tiers are combined with the top 5, but I am happy to report that we are now trending because we've been picked up by all the places that fight about these things. And so a conspiracy theory that Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers did not tear his Achilles was asked by the Dan Le Batard Show. And it's quoting me saying, since he went into the darkness retreat, all he found in the darkness is I must come back hell-bent on beating science. And now the comments have become a real hellfire. Like so debate me. We have now publicly issued the challenge, not just at the microphone, but we've made the request to Aaron Rodgers. I want to debate him now about whether his doctors are fake, whether he's faking the Achilles injury.
In seeing what actually does really well on our YouTube algorithm, I become almost sad in a sense because most of the stuff is intellectually lazy, although there is a lot of challenges that come with talking about ESPN. If we ever talk ESPN or Aaron Rodgers, no matter how lazy the conversation is, no matter how much of it is a retread, that rates, man. We should do it more.
Build the whole plane out of Aaron Rodgers conspiracy theories, in my opinion.
Debate me on McAfee's show.
That doesn't help.
You have to pick a partner, too.
It might actually. On YouTube, certainly. Go there, drive subbies.
Do you want Travis Kelce? Do you want Fauci? How are we going to do this?
I want to publicly question his doctors the way that he's questioning Fauci. I want to do it the same way. I want to question whether the whole thing is a conspiracy theory.
Billy gave you a gold mine here.
He really did. But he didn't.
He didn't want the smoke. He gave you a gold mine without the smoke. And we fleshed it out, and now it's performance art. Now we're doing a thing. Before Billy was just doing a thing.
Let's go to Tony. Where is Tony right now? I was looking for his tiers from yesterday. He was working for hours.
I'm hearing his tiers are going to debut on Mystery Crate tomorrow.
Okay, that's okay. So you guys stole
30
it.
whole minutes of tears.
All right,
you snooze, you lose, Dano.
Okay, so your Mystery Crate is embargoing content I could use today.
He might give you one as a little teaser, but you don't get all of them.
Tony, why are you in the weight room and why are you shirtless?
Dan, we're back to where it all started, to where the entire Tony's Top 5 for this season started right here. I'm looking at the bench where it started. We're going to do something different. We're going to do a little bicep today. So we're going to be working those out as the top 5 starts.
Have you been using creatine?
Yeah, of course. What kind of question is that? I take creatine every day.
Tony's mic is clipped to his gold chain.
and the crucifix, that's right, the crucifix that is right under that gold chain. We might hear it clanging if he gets
You want in Miami, you got it.
I've got exciting news for you, the audience, and Tony. Tony's Top 5 has a sponsor this week.
Come on now.
And it's brought to you by the Dan Le Batard Show sweepstakes presented by Miller Lite.
And the haters.
And the haters.
Wait a second.
Yeah, no, I'm just shoehorning this one in there because I got to do it once a show. I want you to enter this sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to win a weekend in Miami for you and 3 friends, provided that our listeners have 3 friends. You'll hang out with us for a taping of our show and get to experience our Monday Night Football watch party on December 11th. Now, I've heard from a lot of fans, this sounds fun. Right now, I'm asking you to enter this contest, okay? Details on how you can get in on this Monday Night Football watch party if you're a loser. It's all presented by Miller Lite. Enter right now. MillerTimeMiami.com. No purchase necessary. Open to legal U.S. residents age 21 or older. Ends November 16th. Again, for all official rules, go to MillerTimeMiami.com. Take it away, Tony.
Thank you, Mike. Number 5 will start here. No OLI this week.
Hold
People
on
are
a
starting to look at
second,
me at the
Tony.
gym.
If I may, Tony, just real quick. Chris, are you thinking
Yes.
what I'm thinking, that he better pace himself, that he's going to be, even though that's a lightweight?
I was thinking for top 5, it's a 5-pound bar. I mean, geez.
It's a lightweight, but I think that 7 minutes in, he's going to be tired. Like, I think he's underestimating
sure.
the speed that he's going with. I think this is going to fall apart at the end. It's already burning, right? It's already burning, even though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I've done 40 reps already.
Don't stop.
I'm exhausted.
All right, go ahead.
We'll start off with number 5. Sam Howell quietly having a really good season.
Come on.
Dan, he's number 1 in BTTs. You know what that means, Dano. Big time throws. Sam Howell's number 1. Better than Tua, better than Jalen Hurts, better than Patrick Mahomes, better than anybody is your boy, the commies, Sam Howell. God, this burns.
A lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks, Tony. Those are bad things for a quarterback to have. Big time throws, I like them too, but yeah, he's going to fade. He's going to have a real problem here.
I see a couple BTTs right now.
Yeah, you like that?
And it often burns after I see him.
Number 4.
Didn't know the names of his O-line. Didn't know the wide receivers' names. Didn't know the playbook. Didn't matter. All Josh Dobbs knew was he was getting that W. Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut.
He's having trouble.
No, I'm good. Who, me or Josh Dobbs?
You are going to have trouble with the next 3 of these because this is now starting to burn.
Yeah, you got to hold it a little bit.
Nice, stop.
Yeah, no, don't stop.
No.
Hold it on the way down.
Hold on, I'm actually going to switch to an outer grip.
All right, squeeze the
instead of
bicep.
the inner grip to get my outer buys.
Slower.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Here we go.
This is going to hurt.
Oh, this
you.
one's
You're going to want to
Number
squeeze it on
3.
the way down.
CJ Stroud is becoming a star in front of our eye.
Let's go down a little slower, Tony.
Yeah, hold it and then squeeze on your way up.
Number 2. Ravens beat 2 of the better teams in the NFC, 38-6 and 37-3. You know what that makes them, Dano?
For real.
A buzzsaw.
Oh, a buzzsaw.
Shout out to Stavi, baby. Ravens are looking good.
Throwing a
He's hurting. How much burning?
All right.
How much burn is there right now? Do you know how
I can't
pathetic?
feel my arms.
Do you know how pathetic it is for you to be shirtless and fail your arriving with that particular
Dude, he's done
amount
like
of
100
weight?
reps.
I know, but people don't know that. All they will see is the last 4, and that he can't keep that up when it's 9 pounds.
Let's go. Push through.
All right, hold on. I got my last one here. Feed me some. Yeah. Thank you. All right, number 1. Hold on, I need the iPad, John. You can't walk away with the iPad.
Oh, my God.
Come on, John.
You don't know your observations,
John,
though.
come on, John.
It's a wordy one. All right, number 1. You know what the O in Dolphin stands for, Dano?
I do not.
The oh, come on! From the big dog when Tua ended the game with that lame duck pass and a fumble. The big dog, Joe Rose.
He was right.
That's
Very
Tony's
wordy.
top 5, boys. Here you go. Here you go. You want it?
Yes,
Here you
let's go. Burn it out. Burn it out.
Stop.
That's gonna hurt tomorrow. He's gonna need Ben Gay. Yeah. Thank you,
I
Tony.
can't lift my arms.
Thank you, Tony. We appreciate you doing the hot Stugotz weekend observation. I'm sure he's lamenting that he's not here. Appreciate it. If you want his tears, he was working on that for many hours yesterday. Tomorrow on Mystery Crate is where you will find it. Can I update some polls here, please, Mike Ryan? Do we have somebody who's willing to update some polls for me?
Chris Cody's going to do it. It's all brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Epic razors, epically affordable. Find them in stores or online.
We are trusting Chris Cody with the reading.
That's right. Is wearing your underwear inside out a sign of bad hygiene? 86% say yes.
I think it's a dedication to good coaching more so than bad hygiene.
How do you mean?
Mike McDaniel said that he used to go from like Sunday to Wednesday without showering because he was just, looking at the film, trying to scheme things up. And I think that coach is just dedicated to the craft to the point where I'm not going to shower. I'm not going to change my clothes. I'll just flip them inside out.
No time for hygiene.
If Jason Kelsey was a forklift driver, would people think he was creepy? 65% say yes.
That's a terrible take. What are we doing to forklift
That
drivers?
was Billy.
Billy.
Airplane cookie, yes or no?
This is a big one.
68% say yes. Can you be both ugly and attractive? 75% say yes. Is every person listening to this
Donald Driver.
Not Donald Driver. That's Adam Driver.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Although no disrespect to Donald Driver.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
My bad. My bad.
Dancing with the
Donald
Stars.
Driver?
My bad.
in every person listening to this, is there a sexy you?
Ooh.
68% say yes.
Can you round that percentage up?
69.
Hell yeah.
The sex number.
Golden Corral, yes or no? 62.3% say no.
Wait a minute. I refuse to believe that of our audience, specifically our audience, regularly feels sexy, but is regularly against Golden Corral. That's not the audience I know. That's not the audience I've met. Like, those are not the people coming up to me. Regularly, confidently sexy and against Golden Corral, those are not the people listening to this show.
You think our audience is not feeling sexy but loves Golden Corral? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that loves Golden Corral more generally than their own sexiness, perhaps. Yes.
Are rats misunderstood? 57% say no. Those are the polls.
That's good reading by you.
Oh, I forgot one. Are you aware of $2 bills? 98 say yes.
Gonna get you excited for Bears-Panthers in a second. It's Thursday Thunder, folks. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code Dan when you sign up on the app for a limited time offer for new customers. Jess has constructed this week's Thursday Thunder.
I don't know why. I don't know why you
No
you did
confidence?
this
Way to
me.
sell it.
No
But
confidence.
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it.
How are we doing?
Great.
We're doing amazing, actually.
We you all right?
How are we doing? How are we doing, almost? Are we doing all right? 1 o'clock. We're doing all right?
We've got a juicy one today.
We won 2 out of the 3 legs last week. Kenny Pickett. I mean, no Russians. Kenny Pickett. Screw this.
Why?
Take it away.
We're gonna do a little zig where everyone else is zagging. Oh wow! And we're gonna start with women's basketball.
Yeah.
Matchup
We're
between
zigging.
a couple Final Four teams.
Aren't we
tonight.
zagging and others are zigging?
It depends how you look at it.
Okay.
We're taking Virginia Tech, the Hokies, against the Hawkeyes to win.
That's a great game. Lucy's going to be at that game. Caitlin Clark, superstar. I know from going to Greece and meeting up with some of the Virginia Tech Hokies over there on that women's staff, there's a lot of show fans. So shout out to the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Hell yeah. Then we're going to take it to college football. We're taking Louisiana Lafayette to cover -9.5 against Southern Mississippi.
The Ragin' Cajuns.
The Ragin' Cajuns, indeed. Lastly, Dan, your fave, Cole Kmet, plus 25 receiving yards in Thursday Night Football against the Panthers.
Bagent to Komet is a lethal combination that will bring Al Michaels joy tonight.
It's basically Thursday Night Football Brady to Gronk.
There's something there with Tyson Badgett, by the way. Let's keep an eye on him.
You and quarterbacks.
Isn't it?
The thing is turnovers.
I think that the thing that's there is Bagent, not Badgent. It's Bagent, right?
But the turnovers are there
Carlos.
regardless of
Carlos!
how you pronounce it.
Why? It's Bajan. Bajan.
Some people call him Bajan.
You're doing pretty well, man. It's only getting better.
It is getting better. Get me the sound, please, just one more time of how he initially pronounced Chimenez. I want to go back to that.
I believe it was Guadalajara.
We'll get to that in a second. But
My now second favorite Dobbs.
Major League Baseball canceled the remainder of its GM meetings after a virus impacted more than 30 executives. Now, more than 30, that's not like the clams. Like more than 30, that's a virus, correct? That's not food poisoning. That's got more than 30 has to be something. I was joking before that that's just an outbreak of diarrhea, but it can't be. You can't cancel your meetings over an outbreak of diarrhea.
It has been reported by reputable reporters, Dan, that it is indeed a stomach bug. Are you going to call these reporters liars or COVID deniers?
I'm asking
You'd prefer if they were all everywhere, like at the meeting?
No,
That's what's been
like there's
reported.
a line out the door.
A stomach virus implies
We don't cancel the meetings. Form a line.
The virus means it probably wasn't foodborne. It may have been from people who are sick passing it on to one another in like a meeting or something.
Clams.
But I'm not an epidemiologist. I just lived through the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right, yeah.
And continue to.
Dave Dombrowski waddling toward a bathroom in a penguin panic and them having to cancel the meetings of a bunch of people in suits who were there to negotiate big deals. The idea that it would be the oysters is amusing.
The idea that one GM's texting another GM and just being like, "Hey, are you? Yeah, I'm. Are you guys? Yeah, we're. All right, we gotta cancel this thing."
Just thought about it. Kim Ng got out of being a GM right on time. She got to avoid this.
There can't be a lot of precedent for big annual league meetings being. I mean, they shut it down. Do you realize what a foul experience for everyone at that hotel for them to shut down what is a major economic event? These are power brokers coming to town. They close down hotels. People fight over the ability to host these things because you're allowing power to come into your city, and all of it is going to the bathrooms in a rush.
Pooping is funny, but, the stomach virus does sound legitimately terrible, and I hope everyone's okay. But it was very funny when Steph Epstein tweeted that the GM meetings have become the GI meetings.
Oh, that's a great joke.
I think the next time we take a day off as a show, we should announce that we're all and that's why we
It's the
will not
best
have a show
excuse.
today.
You can't
Idea
ask
guy.
for a follow-up.
You know that all the GMs in the WhatsApp group are making fun of what they presume is patient zero.
You think they have a chat and they're all just texting each other constantly?
I think they're like, it's got to be Charrington. He came in and he didn't look right.
He was pale.
Goddamn Ben Charrington.
He didn't have a lot of blood in his face. It's more than 10% of the people who were there.
Or like they're just blaming Ceviche Tostones.
I'm just so sad that Randy Levine isn't still a GM in baseball so that we could picture what it would be like if he had the same issue as he did on that airplane back in the day, as David Samson told us.
Thank you, Jeremy. There's Randy Levine on your screen right there. For those of you who do not know, that is the former Yankee president looking exactly as you'd like him to look if he's denying that he has befouled the private airplane's toilet with whatever it is that Randy Levine had with burritos and breakfast. There he is. That is what I imagined. I imagined 30 of those people running to bathrooms at some Ritz-Carlton or some Four Seasons in Scottsdale, Arizona, running through Canyon Ranch trying to get to an emergency porta potty.
Tim Kirkchin, there are a lot of here. Damn.
John Sherholtz saying, occupied.
Sherholtz, man. The Sherholtz was 15 years ago.
I think he just recently stopped being in the organization.
There's a
It's busy.
Dana Brown, but that's
locked.
a little too on the nose.
Someone's in here.
Fake Elmo's got the runs.
For all the time we have spent dissecting transactions in basketball and analyzing who's good, who is not good, you have to be at least a little amused, do you not, that the Nuggets have started with one loss?
They're dying for nuggets, Dan. Nuggets is what they want. They're not getting nuggets. Just runs.
Jamal.
Sorry, you were done talking about
That's okay. It's fine. Jamal Murray is not playing for them. And I know that they're a boring champion, but there can't be any disputing that that team is great. And as soon as Stugotz said that the Celtics were going to win 70 this season, they lose their next two. Denver, again, just steamrolling people. And they beat, last night they beat the Warriors. It was a close game, but we can't doubt that that team is a worthy champion, right? That's not what's happening and finding it uninteresting.
No, it's that Nikola Jokic is so dominant that it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. He's averaging like career highs in a bunch of different ways. He's shooting over 70% on twos this season. He is such a dominant player, and he puts together stat lines like 39, 18, and 12, and we just sort of, roll our eyes
Boring.
at it.
I think I saw a stat where Russell Westbrook has the most triple-doubles in NBA history, like 198. Jokic already has 109 of them. So it's like he's going to be far and away the highest triple-double owner in league history.
But he's just under 7 feet. So we'll allow it.
Wembanyama, in his 5th game, put up 38 points. It was better than the career high of Bill Walton. It was better than the career high of Bill Russell in his 5th game. I don't think Mike is wrong, and I don't think Chris Cody is wrong to want to buy the take from Mike Ryan. I saw it was a negotiation like the one Cam Newton and Jimmy Clausen had. Jimmy Clausen had Cam Newton's number. Cam Newton comes in and asks, what do you want for it? Clausen says $1 million. Cam Newton says, kiss my ass.
I have to give him my half of the Cessna Cyclones for the take. And he wouldn't take
You
it.
want the take that Mike has now pretty exclusively nationally, which is, and this is odd, because nobody roots for Goliath. But Mike is alone in rooting against Wemby. And one of the reasons that you want the take, I think, Chris Cody, is because well, wait a minute. If Jokic is going to be met with this kind of yawning indifference because he's unfair, if I make another person 7-4 and unfair, what am I doing to your sport if you can't beat these people?
Yeah, but Jokic is 20 times the player that Wemby is.
That's a
No,
little extreme.
no. If Wemby were 2 inches shorter, he'd be 7'2" Terry Rozier. He went 4 for 14 last night.
He is a rookie.
Mike, he's 19.
I'm sorry, you're gonna excuse 4 for 14 by saying he's a rookie?
First game at the Garden.
How old is he? Do I have his age wrong? Like, isn't he? He's still growing,
Guys,
is he not?
Guys, he's taken number 1, and he's cheered on by the masses because he's so tall, and it's unfair. You see that guy go up? It's unfair. Come on,
He was born after the Marlins won their last World Series.
It's not a good basketball player. Not good. He's just tall.
He's just
tall.
he scored.
Jokic, tall and amazing basketball player.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. Can someone call you not a good basketball player when your career high in your 5th game is larger than Bill Russell's?
Yao Ming, tall, good basketball player. Wemby, not there yet. Let's stop crowning this guy.
Okay.
And he doesn't need your help at all. At all. It's unfair.
I know
it's cheating.
I know it's
higher hoops.
Circus freak stuff, but him dribbling 2 basketballs between his legs at 7'4", that's
Did he turn both of them over? What he's got to his game is he's tall. That's what he's got right now. He can handle for a big man, but also if you're the opposing team, let's let
Tony,
that big man handle.
What are you shaking your head about, Tony?
Mike's the guy at the playground's like, oh, this guy's too good. He can't play with us.
he can't.
That's who Mike is, dude.
Everybody criticizing my take. You don't adjust sliders on 2K?
No.
I know you do.
No.
Oh, I know you do.
No.
I know you
Absolutely
do. I know
not,
you
Mike.
take
What are
off.
you doing?
No. Let's have the 3-point percentage be their actual statistics instead of manual. I know you guys. That's what you guys are.
So good.
Chris Cody, you're jealous back there, right? Like, Chris Cody, how would you help it? Do you want to? I think you can get in here if you want to.
No, it's his thing.
No, but if you want to be,
Hey,
in
who had the worst plus minus in Madison Square Garden last night? You want to guess?
Was it still Julius Randle? God, I hope so.
good guess.
Please.
It was actually Julius Randle. No. Julius Randle had the best at plus 31. You know why? Penicillin came in the form of Victor Wembanyama.
Chris Cody, get
Julius
in here.
Randle's been the worst player in the league. And then when Wemby came to town, he's like, thank God. Slump buster.
Medicine.
Slump buster. Let me take this kid to school. And that's what Julius Randle did in his Skechers.
He's so thin. How'd I do?
You stink. You can't have the take. You don't.
Super skinny.
You don't deserve it.
Oh, God. And then what's going on here? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was ready, Mike, but I got to get my listing. I mean, what's it?
horizontal? Like, it's landscape.
I
Come on,
know,
dude.
guys. I'm getting my list. I'm getting my list right now. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Landscape. What? What
getting
is
my
it
list.
with
I'm
this
not
guy?
listening.
What is it, notes? Your phone notes?
Hang on. I have notes. 3.
How is it that we always start this way? Adnan's not ready. David Samson, of course, is maximum ready, but bored by Adnan's general sloppiness. Weirdly, Adnan on MLB Network as a broadcaster, and this I'm just learning about him. Adnan, as a broadcaster, is maximum polished, prepared, gives off stoic professionalism.
You didn't watch Monday Night Raw.
But he's a mess. Adnan's a mess. Like, he comes in here disheveled, careening, pinballing off of the sky. He throws half a muffin in his face. His hair is not groomed. Like, Adnan, are you dressing up in a broadcasting costume as part of your career, but it's not the real you?
Dan, you're painting a very unflattering portrait of myself. I'd like to keep fooling the audience into thinking I am the smooth, self-assured professional that I purport myself to be, not the absolute Tasmanian devil that you have now revealed me to be. But yes, I'm an imposter. Essentially, I am posing as a broadcaster every day of my life.
I love that we get the more authentic you here. Samson, why are you shaking your head? What are you shaking your head about? Because you're always prepared, you're always on time, and Adnan comes into the room, and he's just sliding in, careening a little bit.
I was just trying to hear him because his microphone is so bad.
Okay.
Adnan, are you at the winter meetings? Tell me you have the shits.
No, I just got back. I did not get to stay for the winter meetings, but I did talk to Dave Dombrowski today. Ben Sherrington had lovely conversations with the MLB executives. I'm back here in Secaucus, New Jersey. That's where the microphone, David. Unfortunately, I'm still on the road. If I'm back at home with the wonderful microphone that Mylar gives me, I'm good to go. But I'm on the road. What can I tell you?
It's called the GM meetings, not the winter meetings.
My bad.
Fair point. I will be. Yeah, I will be at the winter meetings in Nashville in December, so that will be good too. I know Mike's excited about those.
I mean, nobody cares whether you're going to be at the winter meetings. I do care about the virus going on in Scottsdale, but we are going to get to this week Adnan and David Samson pandering to young people by doing the best, the top 5.
They've already lost Jess. She's on the crossword.
No!
I saw it.
Yes,
Despite her screen protector.
This.
No, she was on the crossword.
She's going to like this.
I'm
This is pandering to Jess. It's top 5 movies between, 2010 and 2020, that decade?
Yes. 2011 to 2020.
Okay, Jessica, surely they will get you in.
Number
on
11's
this.
Jeremy Renner.
Before we do this, though, I just wanted to ask both of you. I know we talked to Samson some about this yesterday, and I didn't know whether you guys had any disagreement here. We had a movement away from the high-paid manager. They're literally middle managers. They are an extension of the front office. They work for the front office. They've been taken. All of their skipper privileges have been taken. They are middle management. But Craig Counsell just broke the salary structure out of nowhere, $8 million a year. And Adnan, your thoughts there were what?
Well, I was stunned by it, Dan, because, listen, I love David Ross. Full disclosure, former colleague at ESPN, lovely guy, smart baseball man. I think did an excellent job with the Cubs. 2020, they win a division title. 2020 and 2022, they divest themselves of their assets. So not much is expected of them. And then this year, I think they overachieved. The Cubs were in the mix for a division title. Yes, the September soon hurt them, but above average team, 83-win team, David Ross, and then he loses his job. Now he gets fired for Craig Counsell, and Craig Counsell is getting paid like Joe Torre was back in the day. I was stunned by the decision. I don't disparage David, and I don't dispute that Craig Counsell is a really good manager, but I'm stunned that they just throw David Ross overboard, a Cub guy who's been there 4 years, allows consistency, continuity, to then get Counsell. And I'm shocked that Craig Counsell pulled that move on the Brewers. I love the Midwest. I just don't want Milwaukee. I'll take the $8 million a year from the Cubs. I was blindsided by it.
What are you shaking your head about, Samson?
I may be wrong. I think the Cubs signed that shortstop. What was his name again? Dansby Swanson? And didn't they sign Senga? I'm just not sure. I divested. They're not rebuilding. They got rid of Javi Baez, who is so overpaid. He's dreadful. They traded Rizzo, who was sort of over the hill and been fine with the Yankees.
Chris Bryant, they let walk. This guy's a guy in the prime of his career. Now he's been hurt. Doesn't look like a good signing, but Chris Bryant's a former MVP, Rookie of the Year, still in his 20s. The Cubs were not keeping the core from that World Series team.
Chris Bryant totally overpaid by the Rockies.
We can agree with that. I would agree with that point, but the point is he's still got a $182 million contract because he's expected to be a star player. The Cubs were letting a star player walk when, as you and I both know, they could sign that guy and chose not to. So David Ross was not being given the keys to the kingdom that one would expect from a team previously that was in the World Series. That's my point.
I'd like to talk to you guys real quick about how you feel about the champion at the end of a baseball season, that not being the best measurement for who is actually best. No one would argue that being better over 7 games is a more meaningful sample size about what a measurement is of a team than 162 games.
Now I'm playing the crossword.
Can you guys – all right, let's do the movies. Number 5, Samson.
The Descendants. Alexander Payne. Alexander Payne did this movie with George Clooney, Aaron Rodgers' ex-girlfriend. It is a movie that is about a man whose wife had an affair, had an accident, and George Clooney is a single dad trying to figure out the path that happened to his wife. And it is a movie that will get you, and it is rewatchable, filmed in Hawaii. Loved it.
Alexander Payne's a great filmmaker, David. He's one of my favorites, and Clooney is fantastic in the movie. One slight quibble, the rewatchable. I've never seen it again. I've seen it once, never had the desire to watch it again. I'll disagree with you on that, but it's a good pick.
I have the same emotion each time I see it. I've watched it multiple times. Number 4, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is Quentin Tarantino's top 3 movie. If I had to do a top 5 Quentin Tarantino list, which I could do, but not on the spot. Brad Pitt. It is a movie that is the story. It's not really the story of the serial killer. It's more Quentin Tarantino's love affair with making movies. And there's not one bad scene in the entire 2.5 hours.
I couldn't disagree more. When you say love affair, I would call it self-indulgent narcissism from Quentin Tarantino. Who cares about endless scenes of Margot Robbie looking at her feet and going into a movie theater? And it's just drones on and on. Tarantino's repeating himself. David, you already know the ending is coming. He loves these endings. He did the same thing with Inglourious Bastards. You know he's going to turn it on its head, and it's not going to be what actually happened in real life. I found the ending predictable. I found it plodding at times. 2.5 hours. I don't think it's anywhere close to one of his top 3 movies. No way.
It's weird, Adnan, hearing your criticisms of Quentin Tarantino when they can rightfully apply to Martin Scorsese films recently.
No way.
No feet in his no
Once upon a time, Mike, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is much more plotting than Killers of the Flower Moon. We can agree on this.
No, we can't.
Okay, it's much more plotting than The Irishman. You can't tell me minute for minute you don't find that movie self-indulgent.
I loved Once Upon a
Time in Hollywood.
I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I think that both filmmakers at this stage in their careers are being a little bit more self-indulgent. You just find Martin Scorsese's self-indulgence a bit more palatable.
Because that's your brand, Adnan. You have to say that about Scorsese.
I can tell you that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not elite Tarantino, and it certainly shouldn't be in a top 5 list of the decade.
He calls it his best film.
Number 3.
Pete Anderson calls The Master his best film, and that's not his best film either. So, I mean, the directors are sometimes myopic in their own views. Go ahead with your list, Samson.
Number 3, Marriage Story.
Never heard of this film.
Marriage Story is with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
No, I saw that. Sexy Adam Driver.
It's a movie about a married couple and the fighting that they do. And I found it to be quite compelling as an example of how not to be married. I took notes and didn't exactly follow the script properly. It is quite difficult to watch, but important to watch for anyone who's in a relationship with anyone.
Do not watch it with your wife.
Great script.
Do not watch it with your wife if you're like in any kind of a bumpy part of your marriage.
Or during a pandemic.
Yeah, don't watch that. Don't watch it as a couple.
Excellent movie, though, David. I'm with you. Great script by Noah Baumbach.
Number 2, Boyhood. Boyhood is a Richard Linklater movie that I'd never seen anything like this. He started filming the movie. It took 15 years or so to film it. He follows the path. It's the same cast that got together each year for a period of time, and he put it together into a movie. Richard Linklater is an absolutely underrated filmmaker of my lifetime. Patricia Arquette, I believe, won the Oscar for this movie, and it follows this life, this boy as he becomes a man. Phenomenal. Long movie, but phenomenal.
And
she did win the Oscar for it. I love Ethan Hawke. Nominated, did not win. Excellent choice. I like Linklater a lot. Go ahead.
A lot of agreement here from you two. Number 1, David.
Number 1 is one of my top 10 movies of all time. It's a movie with Amy Adams and Bradley Cooper. It is called American Hustle.
Oh, terrible.
American Hustle. Christian Bale gives what I think is his best performance, including The Prestige. It's a movie about Abscam, which is a real life thing that happened where Jeremy Renner's in it. Didn't you just say Jeremy Renner, Mike? You mentioned
Yeah, he was
for
11
whatever
across
reason.
on this crossword that I'm doing now.
Oh, got it.
Mid-list.
Yeah. Samson had me there for a while, but terrible number one.
American Hustle is one of the most overrated movies of the last 20 years. That is a cheap imitation of a Martin Scorsese movie. The only good thing about that movie is the first 5 minutes when you see his comb over. That's it. After that, it goes downhill. It's a bunch of actors pretending to be actors in a Scorsese movie. I thought it was appallingly overrated. I'm not joking right now. I'm shocked, Samson. American Hustle? That is, you've got to be kidding me. No way.
Yes way.
There it is. That's the name of the show. That's the name
No
of the
way,
show.
yeah, that's right.
This show needed a name, and there it is. No way, yes way. They
All right.
brawl over the movies.
Per tradition, Adnan, you rifle through your top
Adnan,
5
we've
with
got-
30 seconds or less.
Adnan, we've got 1 minute left. Number 5.
Parasite.
Finally, a good movie.
Yeah, Jess is with me on this one. I knew she'd like Parasite. Number 4, Ethan Hawke, First Reformed.
That was a good movie.
That's a deep
Samson,
cut.
back me up.
That's a deep cut and a really, really good movie. Wow.
My man
Surprising.
Samson. Number 3, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Also good.
Losing me.
I love this. Francis. What's that, Jess?
Nothing. Keep
You're,
going.
you're losing her, she said. You lost her.
Okay,
With,
don't worry. I'm gonna get you all back right now. Number 2, Mad Max, Fury Road.
Oh, come on.
It was beautiful.
Best action movie of the last 20
It was
years. Nobody can
beautiful.
dispute that.
What do you mean, Samson?
And
It was
number
a beautiful
1.
movie.
Mission Impossible
It is a
Fallout.
beautiful movie, Dan. And number 1 is also a beautiful film. It's Scorsese's Unforgiven. It's called The Irishman.
No.
Now, forget
Jesus.
it. We're done.
These guys.
He's back. He's trolling.
Oh, brother,
Can't do
this
that.
guy stinks. Cinephile, check it out.
You ruined the entire segment with that.